Hello guys, welcome back. Guys, on this tutorial I'm going to teach you two proper way of cutting bubu gown. You understand, there are bubu gown you cut without the sleeve. You have to cut the sleeve separate. There are bubu gowns you are going to cut together with the sleeve. So we are going to draft both the one with the sleeve and the one you are going to cut and you cut the sleeve separate. Well, I'm going to teach you all here on this class. Okay, so I've already folded my pattern paper into two. In case you don't know, my name is BN Stitches. Okay, so what I have to do now is to mark out my body measurement, which I need. Here is my starting line, so I'm going to mark out my bust line, my half length, my hip measurement, and the full length. Okay, so after that, I'm going to roll it out in a straight line. So after rolling it out in a straight line, the next thing you have to do is to divide your shoulder measurement by 2 and mark out 1, which is mine is 6. So I'm going to roll it out. After this, you mark your neckline. So I'm going to mark 2 inches, the depth 2 inches, the wideness 2.5. That will be for the back neckline, you understand? And I'm also going to mark out the front neckline. So for the front neckline, I'm going to come down by 3 inches for the front neckline, and I'll roll it out. After this, the next thing is to mark 1 inch for shoulder slope. 1 inch for shoulder slope. You extend it up down to the neckline. So after marking this, the next thing you have to do is to divide your body measurement by 4. So the bust measurement, this is bust, this is half length, this is hip, and this is full length. So the next thing you have to do is just divide your bust measurement by 4 and mark out 1/4 of it. Divide your waist by 4 and mark it out. You divide your hip by 4 and roll it out, and then you minus 1 inch from the hip and mark the rest. If you are marking your normal body curve, you understand. So I'm going to connect the lines. So after marking this, you get your armhole. For the front armhole, I'm going to mark 2 armhole here. I'm going to mark both the front and the back. So you divide your armhole line and come in by ½ inch. So for the front armhole, this is what I'm marking. This is for the front armhole. You see I come in by ½ inch. Then for the back armhole, you are going to follow exact the lines you have before. This is for the back armhole. You see now, this is your body measurement, your body curve. Then if you want to cut bubu gown without adding the sleeve together, all you have to do is just add freeness. What you use your hip measurement divided by 4. You add like 2 inches. So whatever you mark on the hip is what you have on the bust. That is what you're going to have here. You understand? But now if it is bubu with sleeve, together with sleeve, all you have to do is to, from the shoulder line, you measure your sleeve opening, which we are going to use 8 inches for our sleeve opening. You understand? Then I'll measure what I have on the hip line, 9.5. I'm going to add ½ inch, making it, I'm going to add 1 inch, making it 10.5. So whatever I mark on the hip is what I'm going to mark on the waistline, is what I'm going to mark on the sleeve opening, and is what I'm going to mark on the down part. So all I have to do now is to connect it straight with a straight line. That is why it's called bubu gown. It's a free gown. You don't need any shapings. And since here is the length of our sleeve, we're going to use all this. So from here, I'm going to curve this in, giving me the shape of bubu gown. I hope you understand that. Then on the shoulder line, I'm going to do my shoulder slope of 1 inch. Then I'll replace back half inch for my joining allowance, and I will connect it down to the neckline. Okay, so right now we will be cutting out the bubu, because the main reason for this tutorial is how to cut your bubu dress together with the sleeve. So now I'm going to cut out the front neckline. This is the back neckline. If you are okay, then after that, regarding to the style we are recreating, I'm going to come down by 3 inch, and then from here I'll come in by half inch. So I'm trying to cut out v-neck, you understand? So I'm going to cut it open, and after that, this is what we have. This is what we have. So what I'm going to do now for the design on that dress, I'm going to show you how to attach the design and the collar. The dress has collar. Okay guys, to cut the design on that cloth, looking at the cloth very well, you see the design on it. I've already cut out the pieces that I'm going to use for the demonstration. Remember, I told you this is for tutorial, okay? It's not for any customer or anybody. So all I have to do now is I'm going to trace the v-neck with the pattern paper, trace the neckline. Please, if you're doing this, pin it so that it won't be shifting. And I'm going to trace the shoulder. So I'll take off the pattern paper and determine how big I want this design to be. So I don't want it to be big, so I'm going to adjust it. You see what I do? So after that, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to come up here by the side by 1 inch. I don't know if my marker is visible. Then I'm going to do a sieve curve to that 1 inch. You see that? So I'll open my paper and place it on top. So this is the design we have on the picture. So if I am sewing, I will use this cloth to turn up. If this paper is the fabric, I'll use this cloth to turn the neck up, turn the v-neck up, and on this part I'm going to fold it in this way by half inch and sew. Okay, so the next thing is on how to cut the collar neck. So to cut the collar neck, you will first of all measure your round neck to know what you have. So after taking measurements, what I have on my own is 17 inches. So this is how I do cut my own collar neck. What I have is 17 inches, and I'm going to cut it out. I'll cut out the 17 inches, adding 1 inch for your joining allowance. You understand? So that will be 18 inches. So after cutting it out this way, I'm going to fold it into two this way, and I will come in by 1 inch. After coming in by 1 inch, I'm going to cut it out. This is the first stage. So I'm going to fold and cut out the second stage of my collar. This is my own pattern of doing. I don't know, always follow your own pattern. So I'm going to fold again and cut out 1.5 inch. That is what I have here, or 1 inch. If you don't want it too wide, you can do 1 inch. So I'm going to measure the same 18 inches and I'll cut it out. After this, I'm going to fold it into two again. After folding it into two, I'm going to curve this part, this edge area. I'm going to curve it this way, giving me this and this for the collar neck. The same material used on the design is also used on the sleeve and is also used on the collar neck. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you on the next tutorial. Thank you.